live. It says we're live. It says we're starting soon. And I can see that since I haven't streamed live in 2 months, there's nobody watching. Well, what are you going to do? All right, the show must go on. So nobody's watching. So, well, I'm sort of watching, and Mrs. Comic is watching, and the cat's like, WTF. So here we go. I mean, I did post that it was today, right? I think I did. How do you do, folks, or folk, or no one? I'm not quite sure. But sometimes people are watching and they're not in the chat, so there's that. Welcome, Rainy Amish Comic here, Mrs. Comic on the couch, Caesar in between us. It is the first live stream show of 2026. Happy New Year. I'm saying everyone, but there's 3 viewers, and one is Mrs. Comic and one is me, probably. So welcome, third person. Where have we been is the question. Okay, it's been, we didn't have a terrible holiday, but it wasn't all that fabulous. So we hope you had wonderful Christmas and New Year's. Crazy shit happened to Mrs. Comic and I. It turned out good. So when you hear me complaining through this first story, know that when terrible, terrible shit happens to you, sometimes it turns out good. So that's exactly what happened here. So Mrs. Comic and I, we love our humble hippie home. We rent, though. That's the problem of this story from the start. Our landlord has been fantastic. End of October, he said, hey, I'm going to be selling the property to my friend, but you don't have to move. Instantly, you know who I am. I'm going nuts, thinking we gotta fucking move. We gotta fucking move. That's what was going on. So we were in panic mode. We also have stuff in our basement from all 4 of our kids that are grown up, and we're waiting for there to be enough mold on it so we can just throw it out instead of getting it to the proper kid. So about a week into that distress call, they walk through the place here because that if you're gonna buy a place, you get to walk through it, and that's really fucking weird to have strangers walking through what you call your home. Now, during this walkthrough, Mrs. Comic and I heard fucking zero about us being able to stay here, and we had little casual chit chat. Hey, I heard we didn't have to move out. Well, it was like, well, we'll have to talk about that. When someone says we'll have to talk about that, that's a big fucking shit hammer coming down on you right there. So when they left, our initial panic had been in low gear, but when they left, it fucking tripped into red. It went fucking crazy. We've been too nuts to do any kind of fun comedy humor show. Mrs. Comic and I went full throttle panic mode to try to find a new place to live. Now, rent sucks batshit balls, and you got to do first and last month's rent. Rent average $1,500 to $2,000 a month. That's $4, $5, $6,000 that we did not have ready. So, our daughter, grown-up daughter, and her partner bought a home a few years back and hooked us up with their fantastic realtor, Mark Marina. I think that's his name. He's fantastic, and a mortgage broker guy. So it turns out, much to the universe's surprise and Mrs. Comic and I's surprise, we actually fucking got pre-qualified to buy a home. Not the dream home, but a home. That would be a teeny little bit more than the rent we pay now. So we've been on the prowl looking for a new place to live, and everybody's very sad about what's going to happen at Bearcat, and so are we, because right now, let me show you what's going on here. This is kind of great. Because when Bearcat, see, I shoveled that. I shoveled that tonight, and our amazing neighbor Tom shoveled around the side. And Bearcat was hiding wherever the hell it hides. But when I shoveled, I made a lot of commotion. in case you could hear, and there it is. This is about a half hour ago. So Bearcat is in a heated feral house, and there's a bowl of warm water there. If there's anybody in Emmaus who would like to have that uh, feral cat house and that Bearcat, uh, message me somewhere because I know everybody says take Bearcat along. Places we've been looking at, it doesn't seem like it's a good idea to bring Bearcat along. We will if we can, but if we can't, we're going to need somebody to adopt this guy. That's a heated feral house contraption, which I would be happy to move. Hopefully in Emmaus, if somebody would want to take that. But first we got to find us a place. So that's what's been going on here. Not to mention, I'm supposed to bring you joy for this live stream, but there's a lot of shit going on. Mrs. Comic and I were both sick through all of December. We basically missed all of Christmas, which I actually found somewhat relaxing because we didn't have to buy gifts and wrap them and show up at things. But then it got to be the point where, like, hey, fuck me and a buckaroo, we're actually missing Christmas. But family and friends stepped up. We had some Christmas delivered to our front door. Mrs. Comic, who's much better now, some of this sick's hanging on by a thread. Uh, she got really fucking hammered with sick worse than I. What would seem like good news to everybody, but it put us through hell in a handcart once again, is Mrs. Comic is one of four quite fabulous sisters, three of which are still with us, and so the one sister is in the town with us, and that's Mrs. Comic's younger sister, and she has an older sister in Florida, and the older sister in Florida, her and her husband love cruises, and last Christmas, whilst on a cruise, she, Mrs. Comic's sister, uh, had a meeting with him. Do you guys want to go on a cruise next Christmas around the holidays? And she bankrolled the whole thing. So that was fantastic. And never mind leaving me here in the cold with Caesar and Bearcat. Well, Mrs. Comic was sick right when I dropped her off at the airport. She wasn't good yet. She wasn't eating solid food. And that kind of sucks when you're on a cruise and it's all inclusive food and drinks. And you're like, well, did they have yogurt? Yeah, they have yogurt. So Mrs. Comic got her health back on the actual cruise a couple days in. So she had a fantastic trip. So all of this put us way behind on streaming live and other fun stuff. Now, whilst she was away, um, everybody, well, she's never been on a cruise, and I'm still a little bitter because it was the first time that Mrs. Comic and I have been apart for New Year's Eve ever. So I mean, I love her sisters; they're fantastic. But this is a little bit of a well, thanks for that. I don't mind. That's also ties into my pissing and moaning about women are more awesome than men because that's a women's thing to get the sisters on the cruise. The man version of that, the brothers would just go in the fucking man cave and drink cheap beer and watch a football game. I'm all in on the cruise. That's the way to go there. So that the whole thing was an adventure. It was fantastic. I had two theater shows to keep me occupied during Mrs. Comic left on the 28th. She left after Christmas, hallelujah, and came back after New Year's. So that was crazy pants. And on the day of my Sellersville theater show, I'm not fit to be around. I have a whole ritual, and I offered to drive Mrs. Comic and her sister to the airport on Sellersville Theater Day, and he had an 8 o'clock in the morning flight, which means we had to leave fucking Emmaus at 4:45 in the morning to drive a sick Mrs. Comic to the Philadelphia airport, which that airport sucks batshit balls. And then that went smooth enough. And then when I came back here, I could sleep most of the day. Had a fantastic both shows. I was so happy with. Toot my own horn. Toot toot. They were both kick some ass. The New Year's Eve show at the Emmaus Theater was especially fun. Um, and the morning of that show is when the traffic court decided they would hear my not guilty plea to running a red light, which I beat. I was found not guilty. Mrs. Comic was in the car with me. She said, there's no way you ran that fucking red light. There's no way. So I pleaded not guilty. And I beat that New Year's Eve day morning. And that got me all excited for my show. As it turns out, Mrs. Comic and I were having a horn about this for a while. We said, if only we had video surveillance, because they have them on the stoplights, so in case you're playing Pokemon Go and shit, they can get you. Uh, the policeman actually had video surveillance, and I made us keep watching it. And the judge said, "You want to see it again?" Yes, I want to see it again. And then he play it, boom, boom, and the cop said what was happening, and he said, "You want to see it again?" I'm like, "Yeah, but we gotta slow this fucking thing down." So I made them. They wouldn't slow it down, but I said, "Well, watch for when the light is red, and then hit the pause, and let's see where Amish Comics buggy is." And I do not think it will be coming into the intersection. I think it will be fucking leaving. So actually, the policeman actually brought the video evidence to get me off the hook. Uh, so that was my exciting. It was really an exciting week away from Mrs. Comic. Um, Everybody was worried about not so much her being sick and having to fly and being on a cruise, but the family was actually worried about me being unsupervised for a whole fucking week because I am silly and immature, and our daughter, who is the human mother to Rico, I got a couple of Rico stories for you. She had a wonderful idea because we do have these bear cat cameras and these cat cameras out. She suggested that I bring in all the cat surveillance cameras and aim them at me all around the house, and then there could be alarms set off. Like the family would get an alarm and say, "Oh, look, the dumbass fell asleep on the sofa with a marijuana cigarette," and so that would trip a thing. And it didn't really come to that. That Richter's coming in there, fantastic, dude. You rock. That's so fucking amazing. I gotta tell you what, man, Richter is so amazing. I should stream just for Richter. If nobody else can show up, fuck, I'm in a bucket of goo. So Susan Clee's in the house. That's fantastic. We missed her. She's been busy as all hell get out. Uh, the potential for this thing being a long babbling stream is pretty good because I didn't even start any of the fucking stories yet. And I cover that in my show. I'm having fun with my shows. I explain that trolls in my idea hallway, and they fight with each other, and I have to pick and choose which one's a dumbass and which one knows what they're doing, and then sort it out and report it. So my shows get long, and I encourage people, if it's too much, just fucking go. Just go, because I myself cannot escape the trolls in my idea hallway. They don't fucking let me rest. I'd be ready to fall asleep, and one of them trolls would go, "Do you think cats dream?" Fuck you, motherfucker. Fuck you, troll on the left hallway on the 13th closet, you motherfucker. Because they won't give me the solution. They'll just make shit up. And then it fucking gets me all lit up and I gotta go nuts. So, uh, Mrs. Comic and I both love scary shit, but I like the scary, murdery, killy shit probably a little bit more than her because it leaks into her dreams. So, while Mrs. Comic was gone, and over December 28th to January 3rd, Caesar and I watched every fucking David Lynch thing. And this David Lynch, we lost him anniversary. It's so sad, but the body of work that man left the world is just. If I could leave one fucking tenth to the world of what that genius left us. So Caesar and I were watching. We watched everything. We watched about 5 or 6 episodes of Twin Peaks season 1, the original. We watched all of Twin Peaks season 3. Now, where the hell is it? Check this out. There's that. Now that's a favorite scene of ours because Evil Cooper's in prison and he knows the food's being delivered to him and he lays there and he says, "And now food is coming." So we say that a lot for no apparent reason, but mostly when food is coming. So we do that. And this one I wasn't going to show you because it's a little bit sad. Um, there's Caesar chewing up a blanket. This when a cat's doing biscuits and chewing blankets, it's really fucking happy. So Caesar was really in a happy place while we were doing the rewatch of Twin Peaks season 3, and that is, I think her name is it Rebecca DeMornay, is that her name?
Which
The singer, the singing lady. Is that her? She passed away. She's in Twin Peaks season 3. She's fantastic. That might not even be her name. I apologize to you, lady. Ghost, but she's fantastic. She passed away too young within the past year, also. So
Rebecca Del Rio.
Rebecca Del Rio. She's on the Twin Peaks music at the Roadhouse and all that stuff. So Caesar and I, we just fucking tore it up. We watched everything. We watched True Detective. The first season is the best one. Let's get me back here. Now, this is a teeny little bit of a spoiler, but you'll never figure him out. Okay, so when I babble away, I hope to connect my story somehow. So, True Detective season 1 is the absolute fucking best. It's Matthew McConaughey, and what the hell's the other knucklehead's name? I should have been better prepared. But Richter will know this. Who's the other guy? Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. What the hell is this? I gotta Google it here. Hang on. Let's see. This would be like a timeout. I'll make the show longer. Do this. Woody Harrelson. Is it Woody Harrelson? So Matthew McConaughey torments the fuck out of Woody Harrelson through all the episodes, and he's very dark and bleak, and he's absolutely hilarious as a dark and bleak person. He gets interrogated by one of the cops that's interrogating him because he has to testify. Who's also in the Book of Mormon? So that's kind of crazy pants. And the the actual killer that they're looking for happened to be someone who we got to be friends with because he did all the man roles in Spring Awakening. Taffy Slap Glenn, I call him. So we were bribing Spring Awakening cast with candy, and we got invited backstage. And this guy's a big. Glenn is a brilliant actor, but he's a big scary guy. And he come to me on the sidewalk after one of the things, and we were talking to kids, and they were eating the candy we sent up there. He goes, "Hey, grown-ups like candy too." I thought he was gonna fucking kill me. I said, "Well, what kind of candy does grown-ups like?" He said, "Taffy, the real big ones, not them stupid little ones." So about a month later, Mrs. Comic and I had gone to one of them old-time candy stores, and I got a big fucking slab of taffy for Glenn, and then I staged him, and I hid it in my coat. Must have been a cold time of year. He came over, and he has a very serious face about him. I said, "Glenn, taffy slap," and I was going to slap him. I was actually going to slap him in the face with this big hunk of taffy, not hard, but just little. He put his hand right up, caught it from hitting him in the side of the head, and he goes, "Thank you," and then he walked away. So he is a crazy fucking nut in True Detective season 1. But Caesar and I, we just tore it up. We watched everything. We watched. I have a list. Richter, I might have sent you the list. We watched all that stuff. The only thing we didn't get to was Mulholland Drive because I didn't have it, but I have it now, so we can watch Mulholland Drive. So, and you are nowhere near getting caught up because Mrs. Comic was again 2 days before I was going to take him to the airport. She was in fucking such bad shape that I had asked her if her sister had uh, travel insurance, trip insurance, because she wasn't gonna make it. There's no way she just wasn't gonna make it. So she went to a doctor and she couldn't see our regular doctor, so they gave her someone else. And this lady was a fucking nutcase. Holy fuck! She wanted. Uh, One of the things that she needed to get was like Flonase. It's like fucking $20 to open her up and all that stuff. This lady wanted to give her. She wrote a prescription for prescription Flonase, and it was like fucking $75. Even the pharmacy didn't want to give it to us. They're like, "This is dumb. Who would buy this? It's the same as fucking Flonase." So we didn't order that. We didn't pick it up, but it was so fucking weird that you just got it over the counter. And she had also wanted to give Mrs. Comic prescription cough drops. Again, there's Hall's cough drops that can just burn a fucking hole in your throat. You don't really need prescription cough drops. So we were going through all this stuff to get Mrs. Comic off to her cruises. She had a wonderful time, by the way. She was actually, she sent me a picture. She was whoring around. There were dolphins. A dolphin was kissing her, and her sisters, they were all, never mind me here in the cold with the cats. So all that was going on. And then we were trying to, I'm going too fast here because I'm going back to, we never bought a house in our lives. And my job is weird. Many financial institutions don't even consider that I have a job. I went back in 1997. I applied for a lease for a 1997 Volkswagen Squareback, and because they wouldn't give me a loan for proper, but a lease was going to be easier. And they said, "Well, what's your job?" Stand-up comedian. Ha! What's your real job? Put it down. Fucking put it down. So when we got the call from the mortgage guy that our daughter and her partner hooked us up with, he seemed more surprised than us even. He said, well, you've had very good credit, not excellent, but very good, and there's a budget here for you. So getting pre-approved was a fucking phone call that I will never forget. And so when we found out that we actually didn't have to move, we're like, fuck it, we could buy a house. But because like we don't want to actually ever go through this again. And I am 67 years old, and Mrs. Comic's a little older than I am. That's none of your business. But we're too old to fucking go through this another time. So we are searching for a home. We're flexible. We can go north. The further north you go, the deals are supposed to be better. I was posting things on Facebook, but Facebook doesn't get my sense of humor. There was a cabin in the woods with no back. There were fucking walls were open and shit. I posted as a joke, but then people post, well, why would you look at a place that doesn't have walls? Well, because of the fucking internet, I can just look on my phone. So now, what our realtor is fantastic. He finds shit and then he sends it to us, and then we decide if we want to go look at it or not. So we looked at a half a twin in Northampton, like just yesterday, and this is a lesson for all of us. However, Mrs. Comic and I would do things, we don't think the whole world would do them like that, but there's a common sense thing there. Like, okay, so with this place being sold, the walkthroughs they have to do, and they have to do some sewage shit to get the sale. It's really invasive, and it's uncomfortable to have people. I don't know if people like people walking through the house, but I fucking don't. So when we pulled up to see this place, and our realtor wasn't there yet, and we had this conversation like, well, we don't, because sometimes people are selling a place and there's people that actually live in there, right? And that's what happens. And so we just assume if the place is being shown, whoever lives there is just gonna go fucking hide in the basement or whatever. But that's just Mrs. Comic and I. So when we pulled up, I was walking around checking this place out, and I said, there's a dog in the window, a big dog, which lends itself to somebody being home. I can't imagine they just beep the code to give us a tour and this dog would follow us all around, but what the hell do I know? So now we got in, our realtor showed up and he beeped the code in, and a gentleman greeted us, and he actually wasn't selling it, his mother was selling it. And so he said, this is, it's scary. Buying a home is fucking scary, let me tell you that. And walking through somebody's home is weird enough, but when they're home, it's really fucking weird. So he greeted us with a hello, and he said this. He said, Richter, pay attention, you'll love this. He said, the Rottweilers are in the basement. If you walk around and you like what you see, then you can come back, and we will take the Rottweilers out of the basement, put them somewhere else so you can go see the basement. Now,
oh, so scary.
It was really fucking scary. So now, warning myself and Mrs. Comic and our realtor that I'd seen a dog in the other room actually wasn't the thing we had to be concerned about, because the dog was kind of adorable, and they put it in its cage before we got in there. But nobody warned us about the old lady sitting in on a bed in that front room where that fucking dog looked at me. So I was worried about a dog. But who the fuck worries about? There's a dog in there, but there's probably not an old lady sitting there on the bed. And there was a fucking old lady sitting there. It was like a Hills Have Eyes lady or some kind of fucking, I don't know what the fuck it was. It was like in Twin Peaks season 3 when Evil Cooper went over to Beulah's and all the crazy people are sitting around. Holy fuck me in a bucket of goo. It was really fucking awkward. So then we, you are as polite to an old lady sitting on the bed in the home that actually she owns while you're looking around to see if you want to buy it as we could be. So we did our hello greetings and all that stuff, and I actually was happy because they said, "How are the neighbors?" And she said, "Oh, they're really nice." And then I said, "Well, do they smoke?" And she went, "I don't know." So why that's important to the story is when we went out on the side porch of this place, there was an ashtray with 5,000 fucking cigarette butts in there. So we were in a house with 2 Rottweilers in the basement, and it smelled like dog in there. Make no mistake about that. And then it smelled like cigarette smoke. And Mrs. Comic picks up on these smells a hell of a lot faster than I do. It's probably because I don't smell so good to begin with. I'm used to my own smell, so smoke has to battle the smell of me before I notice it. So that's going on. So now, when you look at places, and Zillow is a perfect example. Somehow they photograph these things. I actually have my headshots done on Zillow because they make these places look so fucking fantastic. Everything's much smaller than you think it's going to be. And this home uh, was nice, however many years ago, but nobody really did anything for it. And I love our realtor so much. He has such a fucking great sense of humor. We were standing on a, a dark green rug that was put down in that house in 1923, and where nobody walked. You know how a carpet goes to the wall. You could see the beauty of what this thing was when it was only 2 years old. But just, everything was smashed down. Colors were different and all that. And he knew that I noticed it. And he said to the old lady on the bed, he goes, "This is a very interesting color of green. You don't see this color of green anymore." No shit, because it's fucking, that color green doesn't even exist because it takes 40, 50 fucking years of people with dog shitting on it and a cigarette smoke and all that shit. So now we're floating around, and what they did was, it's a classic Pennsylvania Dutch thing to do. If you go into any houses in Pennsylvania, Dutchmen just rig shit. That's weird, like things that close so that front room with an old lady is no longer a living room. It is now a bedroom with a sliding fucking door. And so we went in and we saw the kitchen, and they had a separate room for eating, but it was pretty small. They could have just left it be one fucking room, but so there was that. And then we went up to see the bedroom, and in the bedroom was a bed and nice windows. This place could have been really something, I'm telling you, but it wasn't. And so in the bedroom, just remember that, in the bedroom behind where our realtor was standing was 3 shelves of canned goods. Like, and he very calmly, he stood there and he said, "Well, this is the pantry." That's funny. That's really fucking funny because we were in the bedroom and he just went with it. This is the pantry, right? So that's it. So now that was fun on the tour, and then also they had a fenced-in yard and a garage in the back, which we were happy about. Off-street parking, wahoo! Uh, but the yard was weird because there's dogs and there's always dog shit, and it's good to, if you're going to look at houses and you think there's dog shit, go when it's really fucking cold and that dog shit is frozen. If you happen to step on it, it's not a horrible thing. But the weird thing about this yard was it was fenced in, but the neighbors had a screened-in deck, and it really screamed hunting tower. It just looked like there was a fucking hunting tower in the next yard, who could clearly see down every fucking inch of the yard that would have been ours if we could get the dog shit and the dogs out of there. And the realtor again said, "Well, that's weird. What's that up there?" I said, "That's where they can sit and hunt me in my back fucking yard here. That's what they can do. They can fucking like shooting fucking dickheads in a barrel, for fuck's sake." So holy fuck. So, and there's a point when you're doing the walkthroughs of these places. There's a point at which you're not buying this fucking place. That was in the hallway. We knew that in the hallway, but you still have to go through the thing and then say things about the things and all this and that stuff. So that was a fucking tremendously ridiculous adventure. So the hunt is still on. Again, uh, I'm actually quite proud of us that we qualify for a mortgage. It's just it's one of those deals where um, the way I work is weird. So reporting my income is kind of weird. And when I was talking to our mortgage broker, um, we were trying to figure out how soon we could get like 2,000, 2,500, 3,000 bucks together. And I said, well, I'm working Friday night, and that's not that great of money. It's 600 bucks locked. And then Saturday night, I'm making like 1,000 bucks somewhere else. And he goes, you mean you can earn $1,600 on a weekend? Well, yeah, or nothing. I could possibly earn what Richter just tipped us. It's either there's potential for $1,500, or if Richter tosses us 20 bucks, Yahoo. So that's part of being kind of stunned that we can buy a place. So there's a conversation about, well, we don't have to move. Why don't you stay? We're we are riding a wave of fucking awesome right now, and we really want to buy a place. So and that goes back to everybody's worried about Bearcat. Bring Bearcat in, take Bearcat on. We just fucking can't. Caesar would not have Bearcat. There's no fucking way that's gonna happen. So we first got to worry about us, and then we're gonna do whatever we can do to take care of Bearcat. I know there's lots more stories, so I have stuff in my notebook here. All this shit happened. I'm telling you this: you never want a mind fuck like thinking you're gonna have to quick leave. We thought we'd have to leave in 30 days. That's the law in Pennsylvania is 30 days notice. So the new guy could have bought the place and we could have got the 30-day notice. You do not want a mind fuck of thinking a place you've called home for 18 years and you gotta leave in 30 fucking days and all of we're not hoarders, but we have stuff from our kids, and we just live comfortable. It's not uh so the hell and the horror. I'm plowing through all in November. I fucking plowed all the shit from the basement. I put so much fucking trash out on trash night that the trash man, we can hear him in the morning because Caesar growls. Caesar doesn't like when the trash comes through. I could hear the trash man going, "Oh, what the fuck!" So then I had to dial it back and try to get my garbage bags under like 20. And it's kind of weird if you plowed. Richter, you've moved a couple of times. You can't believe how much fucking stuff you have. And Mrs. Comic and I are just using the theory of, do we want to move this into a new place, and that makes it easy. But when you do, when you throw out 20 bags of garbage 4 weeks in a row, and it seems like you've done nothing in that room, that's a mind fuck right there. That is a mind fuck right there. So with this, it's really a lot of shit going on. But again, it's really exciting, um, and we actually put an offer in on a place. We were very excited. It was over in Steel City. What we want, we don't have the budget for what we want, but it was there. It was a single home. It had off-street parking. It was close to our grand cats, Hank and Rico. We put a bid in and we didn't get it. Because here's what we're up against. We have it's called a seller's assist. Fantastic. So we don't have to come up with 20 grand right away. But when people buy homes and they want to flip them, or people that have money and they buy homes, if they want to forego all the inspections, which we can't, or we wouldn't get the loan, and just buy the fucking thing outright. If you're selling the home, that's who you sell it to. So we lost our bid uh, for cash transaction, but um, we think I know there's a powerful, awesome force of something helping us out here, because I am insanely sensitive to sound. That's why I can know how cats think. Any sound I hear, I think's trying to kill me. That's how cats are. Mrs. Comic, it can be sensitive to sound, but she can also hyper focus and not hear some of the shit. So hallelujah to her. With Mrs. Comic, when we were walking around the house that we put an offer on, she said, later on, she said, there's no screens anywhere, and there weren't, but they did have new windows all around the place. So after we lost the the bid, after we didn't get it, I started doing. I'm OCD. I'm doing some research. There's the Eastern Gun Club is 1.7 miles away from that house, and that's a pretty safe distance as far as when there's a gun range and you got to hear all that shit all the time. But the nice big yard, which also had a lot of dog shit in it because they had dogs and that was frozen and snow, so we were lucky with our frozen dog shit. And then there's a tree line back there. On the other side of that tree line is the fucking rifle range for that gun club. And when those people move in and it's gonna be event season at the gun club, and I checked the events, they have fucking non-stop shooting events. They are gonna lose their fucking PTSD minds. I'm not wishing anything bad on them. We are just grateful that the first house we put an offer in and we didn't get, it's fucking shattering. It's fucking shattering. It felt good, felt like us. It had a nice hippie feel to it. And then when you don't get it, the fucking bottom just drops out. So I probably actively searched for shit wrong with this place. I go, woohoo, look, and I found it. That gun range, Caesar gets pissed off when the garbage truck goes. So if we had a gun range going on here, we'd just be fucking batshit crazy Looney Tunes. And then we're learning so much about how people list houses. Okay, one of the things they list is a, a excellent opportunity to make this your own. That means there's a lot of fucking shit wrong with it, and you have to fix all the shit. Uh, One of the places we looked at down in Richland Town, uh, cute little cottages detached. It was farmland across the street. We'd like to live next to a cemetery if we could, because those neighbors, if they make any noise, they'd be like, hanging out with it or some shit. We hanging out with Casper, the friendly ghost. So we met the realtor there, and he's in cahoots with our mortgage guy. And before he even really said hello, he said, "Hey, hello, I gotta talk to Leonard because he's probably not gonna approve your mortgage because this place doesn't have any garage doors." I didn't even fucking notice it, and it didn't. I just thought the garage doors were open. The garage doors were missing, so they had a carport that they sling blade shacked into a garage. And so when you got in the house, Mrs. Comic didn't even want to go in. The floor was all ripped up in the kitchen, and they put boards over the horror part of the floor and nailed them down so you couldn't actually see the full width, the full presence of horror in there. Everything was dated. Everything was probably the place should have been condemned. Somebody bought it, but they gave it back. So that happens a lot too. So when that thing's back on the market, the it's just been such an adventure. Everybody tells us the further north we go, the more bang we can get for our buck. And I had posted before, we would absolutely love a nice cottage in the woods, fireplace, and not too far out of the beaten path so we can get shit. So we're looking at some of those. Well, then you get into a problem with plumbing and whatnot. Now, there's septic tanks, and that was another problem with the place that we lost the bid on. It hadn't had a septic tank inspection or overhaul like fucking ever, as far as we knew. So we would have needed that before we would be able to buy the place. So whoever just bought it for cash, fuck it. They didn't give a fucking flying shit in a bucket of goo if there was an actual bucket of goo there. But the further north we're going, I found something else that was exciting. I found a beautiful hippie cabin for Mrs. Comic and I. It's us. We looked at it and it's just us. There might have been a fireplace in there. I don't know. Wasn't too far up north, but it did not have a septic tank. It had a cesspool. There's no need to Google it. That's exactly, you heard it right. A cesspool is bad on every stretch of the imagination. So we also found another place, and we haven't been able to verify if they have a shower. It could be on the back porch. So we are a little nitpicky. We would prefer to have something that has a shower in the house, not on the porch. And cesspool seems a little like, I guess that's the thing. We were a little skeptic about septic tanks, but once you introduce cesspool, septic tank looks pretty damn good. So now, but it's been an adventure. It's been an adventure. Um, I put this in my notes here. The old lady in the room. We were worried about the dog, but nobody could warn us about the old lady in the room. And the way people sell things and there's conditions and shit, the old lady in the room might come with the house because it was technically her house. I mean, if she goes nuts and she doesn't want to move, what the fuck's going to happen there? I just don't know. So I'm looking over some notes here. Uh, it's really great to see everybody, and I can't really see you, but to see you seeing me, we love streaming. Mrs. Comic and I, we miss this, and again, between all this fucking crazy shit and uh, being sick, I'm Mrs. Comic's sister cruise. It's just been there hasn't been anything really. I was this close to doing a live stream without her while she was on the cruise, but I could see the disappointment already with me streaming. Going, well, where's Mrs. Comic? It's more fun when she's here. You're damn right, it's more fun when Mrs. Comic is here. Uh, the other thing that cracked me up is that we really have a happy life. I mean, I can do pretty much what I want to do. We like the same kind of entertainment and stuff. I know a lot of people, if their spouse is gone, they're like, oh boy, now I can do all this stuff that my wife doesn't let me. My wife lets me do pretty much whatever the hell I want, and she likes to do the same stuff. So all I really did while she was gone was like the same stuff. That's pretty much it. Uh, so we've got that going on, and it's been actually crazy. It's so I know what was fun for me. I got to I'm writing a lot, even though it's not really apparent here tonight. So the Sellersville Theater was especially interesting. Hang on, Bourbon Balls. Happy New Year. Here's to me. I don't know if this is legal, but here we go. This is coming up. So Sellersville Theater for the past 5 6 years, I have been traditionally doing day after Christmas, Boxing Day. They were normally closed, but I pitched them on this idea, and they were skeptical, but I already knew it would work because I had done day after Christmas shows with my buddies over to Days Inn Conference Center years ago. People go batshit crazy, and they are fucking ready to go. So after 3 or 4 successful day after Christmas shows, a tribute band wanted my fucking day after Christmas date. And they kind of, in defense of them, they had to give it to them because they're trying to make money. They sell out all the time. Almost Queen. In fact, they sold out 2 nights after Christmas and the next night. And I didn't put the snow curse on them, but the first night, December 26th, it fucking snowed. Mm-hmm. And I was thrilled that I didn't have to make the decision to go down there in the snow. And the staff even was like, we, they're great, but we don't really get it. So I got to improvise a bit on stage, which is going to stay part of my show. It's the Almost Queen, and they sell it, and it's not Queen, but you still fucking go. It's not them. Get the lead out. We know it's not Led Zeppelin, but we gotta go fucking see them. So there's jealousy with me, and also a paranoia because what if there's an almost Raymond the Amish comic and he sold out every fucking show, and it isn't me, but you don't give a fuck. You're like, well, almost Raymond the Amish comic does all them fun stories that real Raymond the Amish comic doesn't do anymore. He just says fuck you in a bucket of goo. But we want to hear those old classics like what does it take to make an Amish woman happy? Just 2 men a night. So that's another thing for me to be paranoid about. And I'll tell you this quite honestly. Oh, I know what I forgot to tell you. We watched also. It wasn't all David Lynch. Clockwork Orange, fantastic film. I've been writing for many years, Richter, Clockwork Amish, but it hasn't gone out of the starting block yet. So, but it's absolutely rewarding to be able to write some comedy on stage and keep it with me, and that becomes a whole other thing, a thing going on. I had performed a long version of that maybe it wasn't that at the Emmaus Theater, and then I had said about it, and somebody had posted, "Quiet, my show's over, but I'm not leaving yet." So technically, the show's over. So if you have to go, so now eventually we got to celebrate the holidays, and our other son Alvin has a couple daughters in college, and another one a couple years out. So we're a great family when we all spend too much money on Christmas. So we did a white elephant. That was fantastic, but we only just did that the other day. And if you're trying to save some money, it was really fun. It was absolutely just a wonderful thing. But now our other daughter Jothi and her husband Al, that's my son Jothi and Al, they told the most amazing story. And oh, this is part of what I'm talking about now. Travel anxiety. We all have it, and we all go fucking crazy. Airports and shit and all that. So when you go and you travel anywhere, you're really, if you're not staying in a hotel, they told a story. They went to an Airbnb, and it's just like buying a home. The pictures look great. When they got there, it was really fucking crazy because they had a basement, and there were curtains and sheets that separated parts of the house. That's enough to fucking scare the fuck out of you. Every fucking great horror film starts with here's your room, and then I have my Twin Peaks curtains right there. And the guy said, "Well, I do some work in that room sometimes." What the fuck does that mean? I do some work, and the Airbnb was his husband and a wife. And guess what? The wife was nowhere to be seen. He's like, "Well, my wife isn't here anymore. I mean, now she'll be home sometime, probably. I don't know." But when they had to do the walkway there, a lot of people do no shoes in the house. So when you come in, there's a place to put all your shoes. So they were all just man shoes. There was no lady shoes. So that's another suspicion that that's a red flag. That's right. That this guy fucking killed his wife and buried him. And so they also noticed that where their room was had fucking glass windows everywhere. So a nutcase who was thinking about murdering them and putting them in concrete in the basement had full view of where the fuck they could go. In the next other room there was a Dexter freezer, a big fucking meat freezer. So then they got a red curtain, they got a Twin Peaks curtain, they have a sheet over there, they have there's no wife home, and somehow there's no lady shoes anywhere. There's no fucking evidence. They got a fucking meat freezer right there. And my son Al is no dummy. He did what we would all do. He slept with his eyes open. That means he didn't fucking sleep at all. And when you're traveling and you need a weapon, but you didn't really plan on needing a weapon, he did one of the greatest things. He got the fire extinguisher. And he slept with a fucking fire extinguisher. And as nuts as that sounds, that's exactly what I would do. That's the level of fucking nuts that I am. If that man comes to try and take my wife's shoes and kill us both, I will fucking bash his fucking skull with this fire extinguisher. So when you travel, just just plan on some weird shit like that. But that triggered for me. I don't stay over too many places when I travel, but every so often, where I travel to is far enough where I need to get a room. Now, a couple years back, I have started to do some shows with a guy who worked in a prison, but he was like FBI, something. He was getting ready to retire. He wanted to run comedy, and he set up a couple shows. Nice guy, but he was fucking nuts too. He wanted to text me all the time. You can't fucking text me, man. Richter can text me. Susan Klee can text me. Crenshaw can text me. The inner circle, it's family and friends and kids, and that's fucking it. So he wanted me to text him blank contracts that he could just fucking take them. No, I'm not gonna fucking send you a blank contract, you motherfucker. So one of the last shows I did for him was up in the Poconos around Lake Wallenpaupack. And that's a short ride. Mrs. Thomas was gonna come along, and we got a room. They said they'd give us a room. So after the show, we had to go to a motel around Lake Wallen paw pack, and a lady was going to meet us, like a crazy lady, like the man with the freezer or the lady in front of the room. So she was going to meet us and give us the key, so we wouldn't have to check in. They paid for all the shit and all that. So while I was describing this motel at the family Christmas gift exchange, I could see people eyeballing the kind of motel, because I said it was really weird, and it was one of those Pocono ones where there's mirrors on the ceiling, and then they were starting to snicker and stuff. I'm like, okay, it's a fuck motel. That's what it is. It's a fuck motel. There, I said fuck motel at the Christmas party, but all the kids are grown up, and so everybody kind of got it. Fuck motel. So the lady, and we couldn't find food. We had to get shitty food at like a convenience store or whatever. I looked like hell because I'm 90 minutes of show babbling. I really fucking look horrible. I smell horrible. It's just terrible. And this lady wouldn't leave the room. She just like, she took us in, and then she gave us the key. I'm like, thank you. And she was like she seemed like she was going to stay. And that happened to our daughter and her husband at the Airbnb with the fucking freezer. The man was just like there, and he wasn't leaving. He seemed like he was going to hang out with them for the whole thing. I don't. That's some fucking weird shit. So now finally we got rid of the lady, and I'm eating terrible food. I look fucking horrible, and I've noticed that I'm surrounded by mirrors so I can see what I'm eating. I don't like to watch myself eat. It's fucking horrible. I've had to eat on camera for TV commercials and shit. It's just fucking awful. I've got to bite into it and smile. Who the fuck can smile while they're biting? It's really fucking awkward. What I saw in those mirrors, I wouldn't want anybody to see. Not my wife, not myself. Every fucking where I looked, it was really fucking creepy. And I think I stopped eating just because I couldn't stand to see myself, or I should have put a blindfold on to eat. And then there was a heart shaped hot tub in the room. There was no water in it, but there's every fucking mirror that you could imagine was in there. Holy shit! So I went and I stood in the hot tub with all the mirrors just to say that I was in a hot tub in a fuck motel in the Poconos with my wife sitting over there on the eating couch. So when you travel, uh, that's when fun shit happens that you just don't fucking plan on. You just really don't. Uh, the other thing that was fun, I'm getting ready to wrap things up here because I'm just babbling. Well, that's what I do. I babble. Um, I can't eat popcorn. I have, what is it called? Diverticulitis. It seems made up, but the popcorn kernels, somehow my system can't break them down, and they block shit up, and it's really fucking painful. If it's really painful, if you have some eating problems after popcorn, you got fucking diverticulitis. And I was crying a blues about it one day with Moyer on the morning show, and he mocked me, sir. So you can't eat popcorn? Who gives a fuck? That's like the most boring styrofoam food. So ever since then, I didn't really care. But at the White Elephant Christmas gift exchange, I picked a big fucking popcorn making machine with popcorn in it, and it was just fucking horrible. And then somebody took it from me, because that's what you do, you steal things. I was never so happy in my entire life that somebody stole my popcorn gift. And then I think another popcorn gift came around. So it's amazing how popcorn is like a go-to gift when people don't know what to give. Mrs. Comic and I went to a church service with a friend last year, and he gave us popcorn as a greeting. Even if church is trying to fucking kill me, for fuck's sake. Holy shit. So when push comes to shove, we had a very challenging 2.5 months, and it's hard to have people feel sorry for us when Mrs. Comic's sister bankrolled a cruise. So that's fucking crazy pants shit right there. That's absolutely incredible. And so I had very excellent shows according to me. They paid well. I was fine with it. Caesar and I had the greatest of guys bachelor week. Watched all the scary shit, and all the stress of having to move. I got a lot of fucking work to do in here too yet. I got a month and a half behind the excitement of being able to buy a home is frightening and exciting all in the same thing. And I don't know if he's watching tonight. Another dear friend of ours, Stein. Uh, I have advisors. I send homes around and say things, and Stein phrased something perfectly. He goes, "So the housing market, it's a you snooze and you lose. So when something comes up, you gotta fucking move fast. That's why you need to get pre-approved. That's why you gotta have all the shit." But Stein's like, you know, if you're spending $200,000 or whatever it is, this is the biggest purchase you'll make of your life. And you're not supposed to have any fucking time to think about it. You're supposed to walk through and see there's Rottweilers in the basement and there's fucking shit green carpet and there's a hunting tower in the backyard and an old lady in the front, and you're supposed to decide if you want to fucking go in debt to $200,000 without having any time to think about it. So it's fucking nuts. We are hopeful that we will find a place that we know is the place, and if we can bring Bearcat along, hallelujah. I think. Oh, I know what I forgot to tell you. I'm way over time, so.
Victor said keep going.
Amidst, yeah, Richter always says keep going. I got the trolls in my idea hallway say that. I hear Richter. Richter says keep going. It makes it seem like we didn't have any Christmas, but we actually really did have Christmas. One of the greatest fun things that happened this year to us is our uh, daughter and her partner's little wobbly cat Rico, for reasons I cannot tell you. He likes going in the car and he likes seeing construction vehicles and he likes lights. So we have got to take our daughter and her partner and Rico, and we drove them through lights on the parkway. That is Rico. And his head is full attention looking at Christmas fucking lights. It was one of the most wonderful. It was so Christmassy. It was like a Christmas Hallmark rom-com movie where people like, yeah, Kathy, you can't fucking take a cat through the lights on the parkway. When the lights in the parkway, they have poles and tall trees, and the lights go way up high. This little cute fucker would he'd lean his head to look way up into the sky to follow the lights. He had the greatest time. So that is the start of a new tradition because and they really needed us to drive them because I mean, what the fuck? He's running around. Yeah, they could sit in the back and they could show him stuff. Oh, that's an old. I had another one in here, but that's pretty much it. I'm going to leave you with this right here. That's our nightly ritual. There's no snow on the ground there, but he looks in to see what's going on. So there, and there's. I think he's still out there. Right there. So now, oh wait, where's me and Caesar? We watched some other TV. Oh, that's our Twilight Zone marathon right there. We watched some Twilight Zone shit. Uh, I'll be at the Arts Quest over at Steel Stacks. When is that? Friday, February 6th. If you have a chance to go see that, that's fantastic. Well, I say that's fantastic. I didn't perform it yet, so it could suck batshit balls. I don't really know. Uh, I think that's pretty much it. I will try, we will try to stream live more often. Now we have our health back, sort of, but we're still hacking away here. And we have a grasp on some of this other crazy shit that's been going on here. And the house buying isn't quite as terrifying as it had been. Uh, so hopefully we can get back in the groove here and stream more on a regular basis. The snow did it. Saturday night did it. We miss you, fuckers, and I mean that in the nicest possible way. Um, Focus your lives on having fun. We should be having fun, and if you're not having fun, you have the wrong friends or you're doing something wrong. We love you. Thanks for tuning in. Mrs. Comic says bye, hello, and bye, goodbye. Caesar did not run into the live stream tonight because he threw up right there at 7:28, which I cleaned up in fucking 2 minutes so I could stream live at fucking 7:30. I think he was just excited about the live stream in ways that I'm happy that I don't get excited because if I throw up right before I live stream, I think artists do that, but luckily I'm not there yet. So that's it. You folks have a great week, and we hope to see you soon. Or where the heck is that? Let's do this. We'll leave you with Caesar. Well, that's the sad one here. We'll leave you with Caesar and Evil Cooper. Now, food is coming. Good night. We love you, and thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.